sit-to-stand lift will actually assist the patient by actually pulling them into a standing position. What makes the sit-to-stand product unique, this particular product, is that we can handle 3 different situations with the one product. Initially, what we'll show is how the sit-to-stand will help a person who has some weight-bearing capability and pull them into a standing position with a back belt that we'll show. Before we get into the slings, let's just discuss a little bit about the actual product itself. The foot pedal opens and closes very much like the product that we showed you earlier on the stand aid. You push down to open the base, push the other way to close it. At the bottom part of the lift, there's a footplate that's removable from the device. So if you wanted to transfer the patient into a standing position with their feet on the ground and they were going to start bearing weight once they were up, you could remove this footplate, and that could help the patient get their feet right to the ground. This knee brace is adjustable up and down and in and out, but that's what's going to brace the individual's knees if you're using the footplate and the knee brace to stand the person up. As we work our way up, this is the actual motor that makes the device go up and down. And on the back of the lift, there's a hand control that will push buttons to make the device go up and down. This particular version of the stand aid will do 500 pounds. We have versions that do 400, 500, and 600, so we can meet the needs of different size patients. This version also has a removable battery pack. So in the event that the battery runs out of power, we can remove the pack by pushing the button, and we'll have another one just like it on the wall charging. This is a new feature for this product. It's also convenient because the battery has a display on it that you can look at the power in the battery anytime by pushing a button. Let's put the battery back in place. On the back of the lift, you'll also notice there's a red button. All lifts are going to have a red button, an emergency stop button, so if the unit starts to malfunction, you can push the red button in and shut all the power off. Also at the back of the lift, you have the ability to raise and lower the lift with buttons on the actual box. So if your hand control breaks, you can use these buttons to bring the lift up and down. And finally, at the very back is a display that will give you information about the product and what's taking place. So this display will actually show you how much power is in the battery as well when you need to refer to that. Now, let's go into the first transfer that we were discussing, which is using the back belt to stand the patient. The way that the back belt operates is there's a lumbar support area that you always can refer to as the point that's going to be at the bottom of the chair when we place the belt around the patient. This is going to face the outside of the patient, so you always know you're putting it on right, and you can see this after you put the belt behind the patient. So we take the belt, tuck it behind our patient. Then we bring this additional security strap around the waist and buckle it, so we can provide some additional security for the patient. And we know we've got it on correctly when the loops are facing us to hook the loops to the hooks on the lift. So now we have the belt in place and we're ready to transfer the patient. We're going to open up the legs so we can get around our furniture. Approach the patient, put their feet on the platform. You want to bring the knee brace as close to the knees as you possibly can for the transfer. Now we're going to connect the loops to the front hooks on the lift. There's different loops. If you needed to control the height that you're raising the patient, you can go with different settings on the loops. Right now we're just going to go with the highest setting, which is the first loop. At this point, you want to encourage your patient to hold on to the handles of the device, and we're going to hit the up button. And the patient's just going to kind of lean back into the sling, and it's going to pull the patient into a standing position. It's really important when you're observing the transfer with the patient that you pay particular attention to the shoulders. Because if you start seeing the shoulders going up, what that means is that the sling is riding up under their shoulders and not bearing enough weight. And that's a dangerous situation, so you want to stop and reevaluate the transfer if that occurred. But you can see her shoulders are pretty square, so we're okay now. But at this point, we can pull the device away from the chair and transfer our patient to another seated position. We can close the base too if we want to. We can transfer the patient to the bed, so we can do any kind of repositioning of the patient. We can also have great access to the lower body, so we can dress and undress the patient, address any issues for incontinence that we need to address. But it's an excellent product for taking people directly to the toilet with all the access you have to the lower body. I was mentioning earlier that if the patient starts to slide down and you start seeing their shoulders going up, we use what we call the lower body support strap that we attach behind the patient and connect. So you can see with that attached, we're actually taking some of the strain off of the shoulder area and distributing it to the patient's bottom area, so if they're falling down, it's going to keep them from sliding. So that's an important accessory if the patient starts to lose their ability to bear weight. Like we were talking about earlier, the changes occur over time where a patient slowly loses their ability to support themselves. So this would kind of be the next step that we would use on that patient to help support them and still have a functional use of the device.